What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. As I said before, I will be focusing on the Blood Angels this week, and today I thought I'd end it with a video that I should have started it off with. So today we're basically going into a generic overview on the Blood Angels and one of their successor chapters. Now, the Blood Angels, as you guys know by now, they were one of my favorite armies. I did play them back in 5th edition. I like the whole aspect of Mephiston being a badass and the Sanguinary Guard, and I went along with that whole ride. I did pretty good, which was night and day since I used my Tau back in the day, and as if you guys all know, Tau sucked in 5th edition, so it was nice to use a winning army for a change. But it didn't last long. I sold it, and yeah, there it is, lost in time. But anyway, guys, let's jump into an overview on the Blood Angels. Since the dawn of the Imperium, the Blood Angels have fought at the vanguard of the Emperor's armies. Again and again, they have led from the front, proving themselves exemplars of everything Space Marines should be. These fast-striking elite forces can launch coordinated attacks so as to sweep away foes regardless of ground or atmosphere conditions, and they can seize victory even when vastly outnumbered. Despite having won many laurels, the Blood Angels continue to strive for perfection, ever eager to win further renown. In this, they take after their Primarch, the legendary Sanguinius. The angel-winged and beautiful Sanguinius was arguably the greatest of his father's sons. He was indeed a mighty warrior and an inspiring leader to all. Sanguinius' glory was that of a demigod, and the legion sired from his blood followed him with unquestioning devotion. It was during the final battles of the Horus Heresy that Sanguinius fell, slain by his brother Primarch, the War Master Horus. Sanguinius and the Space Marines made from his gene seed shared a special bond. His tragic death to the arch-enemy left a mental scar upon the chapter, a fugue that continues to mar their glory. A flaw in the gene seed that continues to be passed down from Primarch to each new generation of Blood Angels and causes these warriors to struggle constantly with an excessive rage that dwells within. The Blood Angels were always aggressive, for to attack was their nature, but this propensity goes beyond bold assaults into berserk friendlies. It is a mark of shame to give in to this red thirst, as it is known, in any but the most dire circumstances. Only with rigid discipline can the Blood Angels keep themselves in check. Yet for some, not even their mental fortitude is enough to prevent the next stage, the Black Rage. Despite the best efforts of the luminaries such as Brother Corbulo and Chaplain Lamartine, there is no escaping this curse that haunts the sons of Sanguinius. Those Blood Angels that succumb to the Black Rage are quarantined off to their own company, known as the Death Company, and they are thus therefully guided by the chaplains. A warrior overcome with the Black Rage becomes mad with fury, slurring the past into the present so that he no longer recognizes his own comrades. Instead, those afflicted often believe they are Sanguinius himself upon the eve of his destruction, with the bloody battles of the Horus Heresy raging all around him. These damned souls are gathered and their armor painted black before a chaplain leads them into battle for one final time. In a berserk rage, the Death Company storms the deadliest part of the battlefield, each member shrugging off mortal blows to continue the fight until every last drop of their strength is gone. For every Blood Angel knows it is better to die gloriously in battle than to face the decline into bestial madness. And so, to this day, each of those Space Marines tied to Sanguinius' bloodline seek the very boldest of deeds in the hope of leaving behind a shining legacy of sacrifice. After the devastation brought upon their homeworld by the overwhelming invasion of High Fleet Leviathan, the Blood Angels have rebuilt their chapter swiftly, all thanks to the aid of the Ultramarines Primarch, Rabute Guilliman. In the organization of their battle brothers, the Blood Angels largely follow the dictates of Guilliman's text, the Goltex Astartes. But they do have a few modifications to this. They have many more jump pack equipped warriors than a standard chapter, as befits their aggressive style of war, and the legendary Battle Predator tank is fitted with turbocharged engines that enable it to speed after the angelic assaults. The angelic Sanguinary Guard serve as an honor detail, each one a direct descendant of those who once guarded Sanguinius himself. To see them in battle is to glimpse the glory that has maintained the Blood Angel's prominent place in the Imperium for 10,000 years. Now, although they are doomed by their own tragic legacy, the sons of Sanguinius remain steadfast loyal to the service of the Emperor. They remain hopeful that one day a cure will be found for their affliction. But until that day, they will continue to fight at the vanguard of the Imperium's most deadly battles, ever striving to be remembered in honor rather than disgrace. Now, the Blood Angels tend to favor different weapons than other Space Marine chapters. For example, they wield the deadly Inferno Pistol and the devastating Hand Flamer. On top of this, they do tend to have more jump packs, which makes them a fearsome opponent in close combat. There are many proud Space Marine chapters that trace their origins the gene seed of the Blood Angels. From the frenzied Flesh Terrors to the brooding Angels Vermilion, all share the same martial prowess and fiery bloodlust of their forefather Sanguinius. Few Space Marine chapters have a dark reputation such as the Flesh Terrors. Ever has the eye of the Inquisition and the Ecclesiarchy falling upon these brutal killers, for such is the carnage and terror they leave in their wake. The tales of the atrocities wrought by the Flesh Terrors grow increasingly grim with each passing decade, and it is only the devastation they have inflicted upon the enemies of the Imperium that has kept them from being further scrutinized. The Flesh Terror homeworld of Cretaceia is a tropical death world that teems with savage life, and contains some of the most ferocious predatory species in all of the galaxy. It is hard to imagine a more fitting planet for the chapter to call home. The Flesh Terrors have inherited the fighting skills and courage of their progenitors, the Blood Angels, but they have also been afflicted with the very worst excess of the Blood Rage, the mindless need to slaughter all that threatens to claim each son of Sanguinius. Now, several times in their history, the Flesh Terrors have succumbed entirely to the Black Rage in the midst of combat, and when out of enemies to kill, they have turned upon their own allies. There are rumors that entire Astra Militarum regiments and countless civilians have been torn and hacked apart by the chain blades of the blood-crazed Flesh Terrors. Some say that during the chapter's worst excesses, the Red Thirst has combined with the Black Rage, resulting in a truly monstrous acts of cannibalism. While the veracity of many of these reports is questionable, it cannot be denied that the Flesh Terrors are prone to losing themselves to the slaughter lust. Even fellow Adeptus Astartes have fallen victim to this madness. The Space Wolves have long-standing grudge against the Flesh Terrors as a result of a particular act of barbarism during the Eclipse Wars that came to be known as Honor's End. Only through diplomatic efforts have the Flesh Terrors' current chapter master, Gabriel Seth, has faced the threat of excommunication been averted. Though he is no less susceptible to the Black Rage than his battle brothers, Gabriel has gone some way towards repairing the strained relations between the Flesh Terrors and the Blood Angels. Armed with his colossal two-handed chainsword, the Blood Reaver, Seth leads his men into the thick of battle, as far away from any civilian zones as possible. There, with only the enemy in sight, can the Flesh Terrors truly embrace their lust for death. And there you have it, guys, a little bit of an overview on the Flesh Terrors and the Blood Angels. Now, the Flesh Terrors, I just like their color scheme. It's like dark red and black, reminds me of Farsight, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. These guys are brutal. They're basically berserkers, like Khorne berserkers, but on the Imperium side most of the time. Really awesome guys. Blood Angels are just an awesome faction of the Imperium. The Codex isn't released yet for 8th edition, but based on what the lore so far has for them, it's gonna be a good one. Because right now, I think they're facing a high tendril of a Leviathan or some Tyrannid, and they're not doing so hot. So Gilliman had to basically bust them out, send some Primaris Marines to save them, and they're basically rebuilding their chapter. But there's a lot in store for these guys, I feel. But anyway, guys, that concludes our week on the Blood Angels. What other topic do you guys want us to cover? Perhaps is the Astra Militarum, or maybe the Space Wolves. I don't know, maybe you guys want to go into some Xenos, such as the Eldar of the Tau, or maybe some Greenskins. Anyway, let me know in the comments below and we'll get to it. Don't forget, guys, to go over to Dark Bunny Creatives. Those guys are awesome at doing commissions and whatnot, so check them out. There will be links down at the bottom of the description, so you guys can go check them out for yourselves. Really awesome work. They painted up a Contemptor for me, and couldn't be happier. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you guys. As always, I'm the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.